Hey guys, so here's the walkthrough for our final module, which is module 10, and it's on persuasive speaking. My cat might start meowing in the background if I'm talking. She normally thinks she should be talking too. I put her out of the room where I record for all of the video lectures, which I recorded all of them today, and she's looking very depressed. So I'm afraid if I try to put her out again, she might stop eating or something bad might happen. So you might hear her. So we're going to go ahead over here to modules like we normally do. And let me scroll on down. So this video will be right under the start page where I normally put it after I finish recording it, of course. So let's go ahead and click over here on the start page. And as you can see, we are talking about persuasive speaking this time around. What you'll be doing is you'll be reviewing 2 PowerPoints and the video lectures that accompany them if you want. Chapter 7 and 8, I combined them because they cover a lot of similar material and the book presents it in kind of a weird order. So I kind of rearranged some things with that and put it in one PowerPoint. So that's on interpersonal relationships and interpersonal communication. This is a really useful set of information because it can help you to better navigate all of the relationships in your life. And then chapter 17 is on persuasive speaking. I will warn you, both of these are pretty long. The 7 and 8 video lectures was about 3 segments, so between 40 and 45 minutes. The one on persuasive speaking, I think, is a little over an hour in total. So you definitely want to give yourself some time to review those. It is probably in your best interest for most of them to look at the video lectures because I try to clarify some things and talk about some things that aren't necessarily on the slides. So just try to give yourself some time for that. Your assignments will be the chapter 7 and 8 quiz, the Power of Persuasion discussion board. Obviously, this is the last discussion board that's for a grade. I might come up with a bonus one. I'm still thinking that out. Speech topic, partial outline, and sources assignment. So this works like the first outline for the informative speech, the chapter 17 quiz, the persuasive speech itself, and then the full outline and sources. Your dates on these, I made the quizzes due on Tuesday to give you a little bit more time to go over the material, especially since I'm just now getting it up and it's Saturday night. Tuesday, November 17th, you'll have your chapter 7 and 8 quiz. Friday, November 20th, you'll have the Power of Persuasion discussion board due and the speech topic, partial outlines, and sources assignment due. After that, it's Thanksgiving week. And we can't really have anything due during Thanksgiving, so you get a break. And then when you come back on Tuesday, December 1st, you'll be looking at the chapter 17 quiz and taking that. That's, again, on persuasive speaking. On December 4th, you'll have the persuasive speech due and the full outline due. I'm going to try to get grade/approval on the rough outlines as soon as I possibly can, probably pretty early in Thanksgiving week, because I'll be still grading during that week. As soon as you get my approval on that first outline, you're welcome to go ahead and record your full speech and put your full outline up, and then you can be done. This last set of assignments is our final in this class, so you don't have an exam to worry about. Once you finish this last module, as long as you don't have any other missing assignments that you want to make up, you're done. Okay, so let's go back over to modules and look a little bit more at the assignments and the other things involved here. So here we have the PowerPoint. So you have the chapter 7 and 8 PowerPoints on interpersonal relationships and communication. So here are the 3 video lectures that pertain to that. Then you have the chapter 17 one on persuasive speaking. Here are the 5 video lectures that pertain to that. Then you have, there's also a handout on rhetorical appeals because some students do find them really confusing. So I found a really good handout on them. Rhetorical appeals are something that we'll go over in a lot more detail in this PowerPoint in chapter 17, if you're not already familiar with them from 101 or other classes. So here's your quiz for chapter 7 and 8, as well as the quiz for persuasive speaking. You can see these are arranged in the order that they're due. The Power of Persuasion discussion board, the persuasive speech topic, rough outline, and source list, the full outline, and the persuasive speech. these two assignments are very similar. Well, it's 3 assignments. This one, and this one as to the informative speech. And the same assignment sheet goes with all 3 of them. I just broke them into 3 assignments because in earlier modules we had some trouble when we tried to attach outlines to the same assignment as where speech was being performed, for instance. And so breaking them into 3 assignments, even when it's really 1 assignment, is a way to get Canvas to handle it better, basically. So let's look at this real quick. A lot of it's going to look pretty familiar. Clicky, clicky. Okay, so informative speeches provide interesting, well-researched information in an unbiased way, and are meant to help an audience consider your position or solution. So in a speech about 3 to 6 minutes, you'll persuade your audience to consider your position on a chosen topic. Your prompt options, because persuasive speaking and informative speaking can seem so similar, I wanted to kind of give you a bunch of options. If you don't like any of these, you are welcome to email me at least 24 hours before the first outline is due to get approval. This is just really me making sure that it's an appropriate topic for the class and that it's an appropriate topic for the assignment. So some of the options that I've included: should all students be required to learn an instrument in school? Should graffiti be considered art? Should offensive language be removed from works of classic literature? Are paper books better than ebooks? Should interns be paid for their work? Should employees receive bonuses for walking or biking to work? Should we increase the minimum wage? Should schools include meditation, relaxation, or nap breaks during the day? Should teachers get a bonus when their students score well on standardized tests? Should students get paid for a certain GPA? Should students be allowed to have cell phones with them during school? Should high school students be allowed to leave school during lunch breaks? Should prostitution be legal? Should minors be able to drink alcohol in their home with parents' consent? Is it better to live together before marriage or wait? Should prisoners be allowed to vote? Should assisted suicide be legal? Should parents be allowed to choose the sex of their unborn children? Should vaccinations be required for students to attend public school? What's the best type of renewable energy? Should college athletes be paid for being on a sports team? Will robots reduce or increase human employment opportunities? At what age should children be allowed to have a cell phone? Should libraries be replaced with unlimited access to ebooks? Overall, has technology helped connect people or isolate them? Should self-driving cars be legal? And do violent video games encourage players to become violent in real life? And as you can see, a lot of these are kind of controversial. And that's a characteristic of persuasive speaking. If you have to persuade someone of something, then it's likely someone else is going to disagree, or there wouldn't be a need to persuade it. Of course, if you want to do kind of political topics, you're allowed to do that as well. I'm okay with something, like abortion, or should marijuana be legal, or things like that. And you don't have to consult me on those 2 topics. Death penalty, you don't have to consult me on death penalty either. But other topics other than those are big political debates. Should gun ownership be limited? Should the Second Amendment include unlimited access to assault rifles? Should people be allowed to own their own personal tanks? I know that sounds ridiculous, but I actually have a friend who would argue that individuals should be allowed to have tanks. He was in the military at one point too. So things like that, also you don't have to get my approval on, because they're pretty well-established debates with pretty strong pros and cons and advocates on both sides. If it's not something like that, a debate that's in the popular sphere, that most people would be familiar with, or that you're not really sure whether it's persuasive, then definitely get my thoughts first. Like with the last assignment, we have stages. So we have the initial rough outline, and we have the final outline in the speech itself. As you can probably tell, a lot of these will involve research. and will be better supported if you have research. So this shouldn't just be your opinion. It should be supported by research. This means you need to have at least 3 credible sources. I would really prefer at least 1 source per minute. So if you have a 6-minute speech, it's probably in your best interest to have 6 sources, unless they're extremely reputable sources that you're coming back to a lot. So by November 20th, you will submit your topic, list of proposed sources, and a rough outline that includes a thesis statement or a proposition, main points, and an audience relevance link. You'll use the partial outline template below to do this, just like with the informative speech. By December 4th, you'll have your full speech and full outline with a properly formatted works cited page. If you need help with MLA formatting, please go to this link. If this link does not clarify things for you, you're welcome to use tutor.com or get an appointment with our writing center, or of course ask me as well. All of those are options to kind of help you get more information on this citation style, especially if it's unfamiliar to you. And then a lot of this is very similar to last time. So most people speak at a rate of 130 words per minute, so a 3 to 6 minute speech should be about 400 to 750 words in total. Your goal statement will be a proposition that will focus on the perspective you want the audience to consider. In your thesis statement, make sure you include the major topics that you'll be covering. Start with an attention getter. I needed to replace that. The introduction normally doesn't include information about why the audience would want to learn this skill. It includes some background information about the topic at hand. It should be about 40 to 75 words, but it's okay for it to be a little longer because that's just a couple of sentences. It's not really enough to really give you a solid basis. And on this speech, if you go over a little bit, like if you end up with like a 6.5 minute speech, I'm probably going to be pretty lenient on it because 3 minutes is not really enough for a persuasive speech. You need a body with topic sentences, main and subpoint, section transitions, and signposts. Make sure you use the rhetorical appeals, ethos, pathos, and logos, and create a well-structured logical argument. The video lectures and PowerPoint presentations will help you with this. And if you're paying attention to this walkthrough, you'll actually find some of the answers to the Chapter 17 quiz as well. You also need a conclusion that summarizes the main points and ends with a clincher. And the required outlines and sources lists are required for each stage of the assignment. When you finish recording your speech, please upload it to Canvas. And then here's the partial outline template that you'll use for the 20th. You'll have your name, date, topic, general plan for the introduction, audience relevance length, thesis statement, the points to be made in each paragraph, along with any sources that you plan to include, and then a list of sources at the bottom. And then here is the very long full sentence outline format for the final one. Someone did ask me, do I have to have all of the, do I like have to have sub points? Sub points? No, you don't necessarily have to have that many sub points. You do need to have main points at least a sub point. You do not have to have sub points and sub points. It really just depends on your speech. And I wanted to have all of those there if you needed them, but you don't necessarily have to use them. Then rules of outlining and a reference list. It's actually a works cited page, but you'll put that here as well. Let's go kind of back to the module and make sure there's not anything else that I need to cover with you. I don't think there is. The quizzes, you should still have multiple attempts. I think I set them that way. If you run into trouble with them, let me know. And yep, that looks like that's it. So good luck, and I look forward to listening to your perspectives. I especially like persuasive speaking. Don't worry about whether or not you're going to offend me. Don't worry about choosing a controversial topic. I have many controversial opinions myself, and I love hearing reasons why various opinions may or may not be valid. And anything that can make me think differently, I'm gonna like. So go for it, have fun, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.